Before you let a man touch you, stop. Not because you should be afraid, but because your soul deserves to be seen before it is entered. You think you are simply sharing a night, a kiss, a body. But you are opening a door between two worlds, his and yours. And when that door opens, energy passes both ways. It does not close when he leaves. His energy stays in you. His fears, his hopes, his hidden wounds, they mix with your own. And if you are not awake to what you are allowing in, you will carry what is not yours for years to come. Every man you let into your body leaves more than fingerprints on your skin. He leaves a trace in your heart, an echo in your dreams, a weight in your thoughts. You wake up days later feeling tired for no reason, anxious without cause, heavy though nothing has happened. You try to shake it off, but it lingers. It is his unresolved pain, his ghosts, his doubts. And they begin to whisper inside you until you think they are your own. You tell yourself, it was just one night. But your body knows better. Your unconscious knows better. You start to feel small in ways you didn't before. You start doubting the light you once carried with ease. You begin to crave the very person who drained you. Not because he is special, but because a part of his energy is now inside you, and it wants to return to what it knows. You call it attraction, but it is entanglement. You call it love, but it is an unfinished exchange. You have to understand, when a man joins with a woman, it is never just physical. It is two energies weaving together, whether they understand it or not. If he is filled with anger, that anger will enter you. If he carries self-hate, that self-hate will cling to you. If he lives in chaos, that chaos will find a home in your peace. Your body, so open, so receptive, absorbs what he cannot hold. You become the vessel for what he has not healed. And the world tells you this is freedom, to give yourself away easily, to feel nothing, to move on. But you cannot move on from something that has taken root inside you. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget. You may walk away, block his number, pretend it meant nothing, but your dreams will tell another story. You will meet him there again and again, because the soul keeps trying to finish what the body started. Many women do not realize why they feel numb after intimacy, why they lose their glow, why they start questioning their worth. They think they are broken. They are not. They are simply carrying too much of what is not theirs. Each careless connection leaves behind a shadow, and the more shadows you hold, the harder it becomes to feel your own light. Listen to me. Your body is sacred space, not in the way religion says, but in the way energy moves. What enters you stays, unless you cleanse it with awareness. Unless you decide that not every man deserves access to your inner world. The moment you allow someone inside you, you are saying, take part in me, leave part of you here. And most men do not know what they carry. They think they are giving pleasure, but some are giving pain, some are giving confusion, some are giving all the parts of themselves they never faced. And you, being open, being feeling, being sensitive, take it in, because that is your gift, but also your danger. You can absorb life so deeply that you start living another person's emotions. You start dreaming their dreams, fearing their fears, carrying their disappointments as if they were yours, until one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize who you've become. You wonder why your heart feels heavy when nothing is wrong. You wonder why you still think about a man who hurt you. You wonder why you can't feel the same joy you once did. The reason is simple and hard. You are full of other people's energies, full of unhealed stories that are not your own. So before you sleep with a man, ask yourself not, do I love him? But do I trust the energy he lives in? Does he bring peace when he enters a room? Does he respect silence? Does he carry himself with truth? Or does he bring noise, chaos, resentment? Because whatever he carries will soon live inside you. You see, the body is not separate from the soul. It is its mirror. What the body joins, the soul feels. What the soul feels, the mind becomes. This is why women who have been intimate with careless men often lose themselves. They have given their inner garden to those who never learned how to care for life. You must choose differently now. You must see that not every touch is worth the cost. Not every closeness is healing. Sometimes loneliness is safer than false union. Sometimes silence is better than promises whispered in the dark. If a man has not faced his demons, he will hand them to you. If he has not met his own soul, he will use yours as his mirror. And if you mistake that reflection for love, you will spend years trying to fix what was never yours to mend. You are not cold for being careful. You are not cruel for saying no. You are not strange for wanting to protect your energy. You are wise. You are learning to honor what enters your body, what stays in your heart, what shapes your dreams. And yes, you can cleanse what you once allowed. You can breathe out what does not belong. You can forgive yourself for not knowing better. Awareness is the fire that purifies. When you see the truth, the old energy begins to dissolve. You return to yourself. So before you sleep with him, look deeper. Don't ask what he wants. Ask what he brings. Don't ask what he says. Feel what he hides. And if you sense heaviness, if you feel unease, if something inside you whispers, "Not this one," listen, that is your soul protecting itself. Because every time you open yourself to a man, you are shaping your inner world. You are saying, "I let this energy become part of me." Make that choice with reverence. Make it with strength. A man's touch can awaken your body, but only respect awakens your soul. His kiss can make you forget for a moment, but only his truth can help you remember who you are. Be with a man who does not drain you, but makes your light burn brighter. Be with a man who adds calm to your storm, not more storm to your calm. And if you find yourself already carrying the energy of someone who left, breathe. You can let it go. You do not have to keep what was never yours. You can forgive, release, and rebuild the temple of your heart. Your energy is not cheap. Your love is not a toy. Your soul is not a place for every traveler to rest. It is a home for truth, for peace, for love that heals instead of wounds. So before you let him in, remember this: the body forgets faces, but the soul remembers energy. Choose what you want to live with, because his energy will stay in you long after his hands are gone. When two bodies meet, something greater than flesh awakens. The air grows still as if listening, for the soul knows what the mind forgets, that every touch opens a hidden gate. It is not a gate made of wood or iron, but of feeling, and through it flows what cannot be seen yet is deeply felt. When you let someone enter you, you are not only sharing warmth, you are joining unseen worlds. What is his becomes partly yours, and what is yours begins to live in him. This is nature's way of joining two halves, but when done without awareness, it becomes confusion instead of union. You may think you have simply kissed or shared a bed, yet something inside remembers more. The body may sleep, but the soul remains awake, holding what it has received. The skin forgets, but the heart keeps the echo. It listens to the tone of another life now humming inside it. Every man carries a certain weather within him. Some bring sunlight and peace, others bring storm. When you open yourself, his inner sky pours into yours. If he carries anger, the wind of it will move through your calm. If he holds peace, that peace will rest in you. It is not magic, it is the quiet law of psychic exchange. A woman's body by its nature receives and holds. Her openness is a gift, yet also her danger. She is like earth that receives the rain. Whatever falls upon her sinks deep and becomes part of her soil. If the rain is pure, flowers grow. If it is poisoned, the ground must labor long to heal. In such joining, the soul becomes like a cup. It takes in what the other cannot hold. Sometimes she feels this as tenderness, sometimes as heaviness she cannot name. Days later, she may feel tired, lonely, or full of strange moods that were not hers before. These are signs that another's energy has found shelter within her. I have seen many people mistake this heaviness for love. They think the ache they feel is proof of connection, when often it is the mark of confusion. Real union leaves one stronger, not weaker. When love is true, it renews the heart. When it is blind, it drains it. Each person we allow close to our inner life leaves a trace behind, as footsteps leave marks in sand. Most fade with time, yet some remain, pressed deep by the weight of emotion. These traces gather, and if we do not cleanse them, we walk one day with the dust of many others upon our feet. To understand this is not to fear closeness, but to respect it. The meeting of man and woman is not a small thing. It is a moment when two souls share their unfinished stories. They show each other not only desire but also secret wounds. What they give and take is more than touch. It is life itself moving from one form to another. So before the act, pause. Feel not only what your eyes see but what your inner sense perceives. Ask quietly, what lives inside this man? Does his presence bring ease or unrest? Does his voice leave warmth or chill? The answers rise not from thought, but from the body's quiet wisdom. When the soul is respected, the union becomes healing. Each gives what is alive in them and receives what is pure in the other. Their energies circle like two streams, meeting to form a river. But when entered carelessly, the waters mix in confusion and both are left muddy. The unconscious remembers every meeting. It does not count the days or names, only the depth of the exchange. It keeps the scent of the emotions shared, the tone of the words spoken, the feeling of being held or used. These memories lie deep and shape the dreams that come after. In dreams, one may meet again those whose energy still lives within. They appear not as they were, but as symbols, faces that change, voices that echo from far places. The dream shows that what entered has not yet left. The soul is still trying to bring balance, to return to peace. A wise woman learns to guard her gate not with fear but with knowledge. She knows that her body is not a toy, but a temple through which life flows. She chooses with awareness, and by choosing she honors herself. Her love then becomes clear, her presence strong, her rest deep. This is the beginning of understanding that the act of union is never small, never without consequence. It is the crossing of two worlds, the blending of two invisible fires. When entered with respect, it warms and gives light. When entered in haste, it burns and leaves ashes behind. The body is the servant of the soul. What it allows shapes what the soul must carry. To know this is to awaken from the dream of chance and step into the work of choice. Choice is freedom, and freedom guided by awareness becomes love. When you remember that energy is not lost but transferred, you begin to see each touch, each closeness as sacred. Then the door between two worlds opens not to confusion but to communion, and through it passes not burden but blessing. Every man walks with a shadow. It follows him even in sunlight. He may dress finely, speak kindly, and smile, yet the shadow is still there, made of all that he has not faced. His anger, his fear, his shame. When he is close to you, his shadow draws near as well. You do not see it with your eyes, you feel it with your soul. The shadow is not evil, it is simply hidden. It holds the parts of a man he wishes to forget. When he does not look at them, they grow restless, like children locked away too long. They find their way out through his words, his touch, his silence. When you open yourself to him, those lost parts seek warmth in you. You may wake with a mood that is not yours. The air feels thick, your heart uneasy. His sadness or fury has slipped beneath your skin. He did not mean to give it. He simply could not hold it. What he has not healed, he passes on. What he hides, he spills. And the one who receives without knowing begins to bear the weight. This is why a woman can feel small after love, though she gave herself with kindness. She carries not only his body's memory, but his soul's unrest. She may begin to speak his words, dream his dreams, worry his worries. She believes she is becoming close to him, but she is only filling herself with what he cannot face. When two shadows meet, they cling. The darker they are, the stronger the pull. Pain recognizes pain. But this kind of closeness is not healing. It is confusion wearing the mask of passion. The more they try to love, the more they wound, because each expects the other to carry what should have been faced within. A man who has met his own darkness can love without harming. He no longer needs to pour his burden into another. His touch becomes calm because he is no longer at war with himself. You will know such a man by his stillness. He does not make you heavy. His presence leaves you lighter than before. To see the shadow is not to condemn, it is to understand. Every human being holds both light and dark, but love becomes dangerous when we pretend the dark is not there. It is better to see the wound and name it than to deny it and let it speak through our hands. Often the woman senses the hidden pain before the man does. Her body knows, her dreams warn her. She may see him in strange forms while she sleeps, a wolf, a storm, a lost child. These are not random pictures. They are her psyche's way of showing her the truth of his inner world. If she listens, she can protect herself with understanding instead of fear. To love wisely is to know that what is unhealed seeks to repeat itself. The man who has not faced his rage will find a gentle heart to carry it. The man who fears being alone will cling to one who opens easily. This is how the unconscious chooses its partners, not by beauty or wit, but by need. You are not meant to cure another's shadow. You are meant to see it and decide whether you can live beside it. If you try to heal what he refuses to see, you will become sick yourself. Healing cannot be forced from the outside. It begins only when the owner of the wound turns to it and says, "This is mine." A woman often confuses her deep compassion with duty. She feels his pain and calls it love. But love that forgets the self becomes sorrow. To love truly is to stay whole while giving, to help without losing the light of one's own heart. A man's pain cannot be eased by your sacrifice. It can only be understood through his own awakening. If you have already taken in a man's darkness, do not despair. What is absorbed can also be released. Awareness is the fire that purifies. When you recognize that the sadness or fear you feel is not yours, it begins to leave you. The psyche returns what it borrowed once it is seen clearly. The first step is gentle honesty, to say, "This feeling is not mine." Speak it softly, as if to a frightened child. The soul obeys imagination more than command. It follows image like a path. What was stuck begins to move again. Do not hate the man whose shadow entered you. His darkness came from ignorance, not malice. He was searching for warmth in the only way he knew. Forgiveness does not mean return. It means freeing yourself from the chain of resentment that keeps his energy tied to you. When you forgive, you do not excuse, you release. You give back to him what is his to carry, and in doing so you reclaim the space within your own soul. The room that once held his unrest becomes quiet again, and in that quiet you begin to feel yourself return. Every human bond carries a lesson. Some teach joy, others sorrow, but all reveal the state of our inner world. When you meet someone whose shadow overwhelms you, it is life showing you the value of your own light. You learn to guard it not with walls, but with wisdom. So when you sense the heaviness of another's unspoken life pressing toward you, pause, feel it without taking it in. You are not a vessel for what another will not hold. You are the keeper of your own flame. Let others warm their hands at it if they bring respect, but never let them pour their ashes upon it. In the end, the shadow is not your enemy. It is a teacher. It shows you what kind of energy you can welcome and what kind you must release. It reminds you that love is not the merging of wounds, but the meeting of two beings who have faced themselves and found peace enough to share. Inside every man there lives a quiet woman. She is not seen by others, yet she shapes how he loves, dreams, and fears. I call her the anima, the soul image of woman within him. She is his inner moon, reflecting the light of his feeling nature. When he meets a real woman, he does not see her as she is. He sees her through this inner figure. The anima grows from all the impressions he has ever gathered about women, his mother's smile, the words of his first love, the tales he has heard since boyhood. If these memories were kind, his inner woman shines softly and helps him to love with grace. If they were painful, she becomes wounded, suspicious, demanding, or cold. When a man has not met his inner woman, he seeks her in the outer world. He looks for someone who will play her part. Then his love is not for the real woman before him, but for the image within him. He wants her to heal what the inner one lacks, to fill the silence inside. Yet no person can fill that space. It belongs to his own soul. A woman who feels this kind of gaze senses something strange. She is looked at, yet not seen. She feels adored and invisible at once. She mistakes the power of his longing for depth, the need in his eyes for truth, but what he worships is not her, it is his dream, and when she fails to match it, his devotion turns to disappointment. Many women suffer under this unseen comparison. They feel they must be perfect to keep his love, when in truth they are competing with his own imagination. The more she tries to become his ideal, the less she feels alive. She becomes an image of an image beautiful, perhaps, but hollow, without breath of her own. When he speaks of forever and yet does not know her soul, his words are only echoes of his anima's call. The woman senses this, but cannot name it. She feels she is drowning in a love that has no eyes. Her heart knows that she is loved as symbol, not as person. This kind of love feeds vanity but starves truth. If a man begins to see this pattern, he can awaken. When he learns that what he seeks outside is also within, he becomes whole. He must meet his inner woman, not flee from her. He must sit with her moods, her fears, her longing for care. Then he no longer needs to project her onto another. He can love a woman as herself, not as mirror. When a woman understands this, she can step out of the mirror. She stops trying to please his fantasy and begins to stand in her own light. She sees that her value does not depend on his vision. She is not the reflection of his inner world. She is the keeper of her own. This knowing returns her power. Often, the body feels the burden before the mind. She may feel tired after being with him, or restless without cause. It is the strain of holding both her own soul and his dream. A woman who has become a mirror can heal by turning inward again. Silence and solitude help her remember her shape. The soul needs stillness to breathe itself back to life. The man too must face his own creation. He must ask, who is this woman I see in all women? When he meets her inside his heart, the spell of projection breaks. He stops demanding that others carry his unlived feeling. He becomes gentler, humbler, capable of real tenderness. The anima, once hidden, becomes guide rather than ghost. Love between two awakened souls is simple and quiet. Each sees the other clearly, without the smoke of fantasy. They do not try to finish each other's stories, they listen. They do not seek to heal by possession, they heal by presence. Their touch is not hungry but grateful. Such love renews life instead of draining it. A woman must remember, if a man sees her only through his longing, she will lose herself in his dream. The remedy is not to close her heart, but to keep her sight, to see what is real and what is projection, to feel whether his love meets her soul or only reaches for comfort. The heart knows the difference, though the mind argues. And the man must remember, if he demands from a woman what he has not given himself, gentleness, patience, understanding, he will remain a beggar at his own gate. His anima will remain unsatisfied, and his outer relationships will repeat the same ache. The only way out is inward. He must love his own soul before asking another to hold it. When both have seen their inner opposites, union becomes a meeting of equals. The man brings his inner woman to peace. The woman brings her inner man to rest. They no longer use each other to complete themselves. They create together because they are already whole. This is the true marriage of souls, where love becomes light instead of weight. A love born of awakening does not fade with distance or time. It remains quiet and steady, like a candle that burns without smoke. It does not demand, it simply gives. It does not wound, it heals by understanding. It is rare but possible when two people have met the shadows and the inner figures that once ruled them. So look deeply at the one who calls to you. Ask not only, does he desire me, but also, does he see me? Ask, do I see him, or only what I hope for? These questions are the eyes of the soul. They turn passion into awareness, and awareness into love that lasts. When two souls come close, the air changes. Even before words, something begins to move between them, as wind stirs before rain. It is not only the meeting of bodies or thoughts, but the blending of inner worlds. The unseen flows like water from one heart to another, seeking balance, seeking home. A man's energy enters like a current, sometimes calm, sometimes fierce. A woman's nature receives and reflects it, turning it into feeling. If the current is pure, her body glows with peace. If it is troubled, her heart becomes restless. Love, then, is not just what is done, but what is exchanged in silence. Many think that only flesh touches, but the soul touches first. It feels the hidden mood behind each glance, each breath, each word. When a man filled with fear joins with a woman of tenderness, his fear spills into her gentleness. It seeks healing, yet if she is unaware, it will only wound. Awareness is the gatekeeper of the soul. This exchange is not punishment, it is law. What is full must pour into what is open. Nature does not allow emptiness. If you open your heart, the universe will fill it either with light or with shadow, depending on what stands near. That is why choice matters, even in moments that seem small. When a woman lies with a man who lives in anger, that anger looks for a place to rest. It finds her softness and settles there. Later, she wonders why she feels heavy though her life seems calm. It is because she carries what he would not bear. The body absorbs what words never confess. To cleanse such weight, one must bring it to light. Speak aloud what you feel. Call it by name. The soul releases what is spoken in truth. Tears, silence, even gentle movement, all help the energy to leave. The psyche obeys the rhythm of honesty more than any ritual. To be sincere is to be free. When two people unite with awareness, their energies mingle in harmony. Their meeting gives birth to something new, a third life made of both, yet belonging to neither alone. This child of energy can bless them both. It brings creativity, joy, and strength. But if they join without consciousness, the same power becomes ghostly. It haunts, it clings, it demands completion. A careless union creates a bond the soul must later untie. The dreams that follow such meetings are full of wandering figures, unfinished embraces, doors that open into empty rooms. These are not mere fancies. They are the psyche's way of saying, something begun has not been ended with care. Every connection asks to be either deepened or released, so the soul must learn the art of closure. Not all ties are meant to last, some come only to teach. When you feel that a union has ended, but its echo remains, speak inwardly. I return to you what is yours, I keep what is mine. The imagination, when used with reverence, becomes a bridge for the soul to walk back to itself. Remember, energy follows image. When you picture yourself free, your inner life begins to obey. When you imagine light entering where darkness dwelled, the darkness thins. This is not illusion, it is the deep law of the psyche. What we truly see within, we slowly become. When love is conscious, the exchange becomes sacred. The man brings strength, the woman brings depth. Together they create calmness and warmth. Their energies circle, cleansing each other like clear streams that meet and keep flowing. Neither loses, both are renewed. This is the alchemy of union, the turning of lead into gold, desire into devotion. But such alchemy requires patience. One cannot mix waters that are still stormy. When hearts are not yet clear, union must wait. The body may crave, but the soul asks for readiness. Better to wait with peace than to rush into confusion. The fruits of haste are bitterness. The fruits of patience are sweetness that lasts. To keep the soul clean after closeness, one must return to solitude for a while. Quiet walks, breath, simple prayer, time in nature, these draw off what is foreign and give back what is yours. The inner world, like a lake, clears when left still. Stillness is the soul's great medicine. If you find that you have taken too much of another's pain, do not fear. The psyche can cleanse itself when given truth and time. Speak gently to your own body. This is my temple, and I welcome only peace. Say it not as command, but as kindness. The body listens best to love. The exchange of souls is holy when entered in awareness. When two beings come together with open eyes, they bless each other. They know that every touch leaves a trace, so they touch with care. They know that every word shapes the heart, so they speak with reverence. They love as gardeners, not as conquerors. If all lovers understood this, the world would be gentler. Fewer hearts would break, fewer spirits would grow dim. For love, at its root, is not hunger but harmony. It is not taking, but giving space for the other to shine. And when two souls shine together, their light fills the world with quiet joy. So before joining, pause and ask, what do I bring? What do I give? What do I receive? These simple questions open the eyes of the heart. They turn passion into awareness and closeness into creation. Then union becomes what it was meant to be, not the loss of self, but the meeting of truth with truth. Many souls walk the earth, carrying echoes of those they once loved. They speak little of it, but the weight is there in tired eyes, in dreams that return to faces long gone. The body may move forward, yet the heart lingers, bound by unseen threads. These are the traces of unfinished unions, the bonds not fully released. When two people join, Their energies weave together like roots in soil. If they part without understanding, those roots remain, seeking water from one another even when the tree has fallen. The woman may dream of the man she left, feel his moods from afar, or awaken with sadness that has no name. It is not madness, it is the echo of a bond still alive in the depths. The psyche desires wholeness. What has begun must be completed. What has been touched must find closure. When a relationship ends suddenly or without truth, a piece of each person's soul remains with the other, waiting to be seen and returned. Until that happens, the energy keeps circling, restless, searching for peace. You may feel it as longing that makes no sense. You tell yourself you are over him, yet a part of you still listens for his voice. This is not love, though it feels similar. It is the unfinished story asking to be written to its end. The heart does not release what it has not understood. It must see clearly before it can let go. Dreams often carry this work. You may meet the man again while you sleep, sometimes gently, sometimes with pain. You may speak to him in your dreams more honestly than you ever did while awake. This is your soul trying to complete the dialogue that was left unsaid. The dream is the letter the heart writes when the mouth could not. To free yourself, listen to what the dream says. Do not chase it, but learn from it. It will show you what part of you still belongs to the past. Maybe it is guilt, maybe tenderness, maybe unspoken anger. Bring it into light. Name it. When you name a feeling, it loses its hold. The soul releases what is understood. Often, the hardest, tie to break is the one built on pain. We think suffering proves depth. It only shows how deeply we touched without awareness. Pain is not proof of meaning. It is the sign of something unfinished. To heal, one must give back what was taken and reclaim what was given away. Speak inwardly to the one who lingers in your heart. I return to you your fears and your dreams. I keep my peace and my light. Imagine this as clearly as you can. The psyche listens to image and word. What you picture sincerely begins to take form in your inner world. Forgiveness is part of this release, but forgiveness is not forgetting or approving. It is the act of untangling. You stop pulling on the rope that ties you both in pain. You let it fall and walk free. You say, I do not hold you in debt, and I do not remain your debtor. With that, the circle of exchange begins to close. If your heart still aches, treat it as a wound, not as a failure. Clean it with truth, not denial. Denial drives the splinter deeper. Truth draws it out. Cry if you must. Tears are the salt that heals the inner sea. The psyche, like the ocean, renews itself through tides and release. Sometimes what binds us is not another person, but the image we held of them. We mourn what we thought could be. The vision remains even when the body is gone. To release the image, we must bless it. Say goodbye not only to the man, but to the dream of him. Only then can new life enter the space he once filled. Solitude is a gentle doctor for unfinished love. It allows the soul to rearrange itself. Do not rush into another union while the old one still breathes within you. A new bond cannot grow in soil still tangled with old roots. Rest, let the inner earth clear. When it is time, you will feel fresh wind, and the past will seem like a story once read, not a wound still bleeding. If the bond was cruel, the healing may take longer, for fear and shame cling more stubbornly than tenderness. In that case, self-compassion is the key. Speak kindly to yourself as you would to a frightened child. Say, you did not know. You were learning. Love, even when misused, teaches the soul its value. Every connection leaves a trace, but no trace is eternal. What was created in confusion can be cleared by consciousness. The soul is not a prison. It is a river. It carries away what it no longer needs when we stop holding the stones. Awareness turns the water clear again. Remember, to finish a union does not always mean to end affection. You may still wish the other well, even love them from afar, but without need or pain. That is the pure form of love freed from grasping. When love no longer seeks possession, it becomes blessing. It says, may you walk in peace as I now do. Then one morning you will wake lighter. The heaviness that once sat upon your chest will be gone. You will remember him with calm, as one remembers a season that passed. The air in your soul will feel fresh again. That is the sign that the unfinished story has found its end within you. This is how the heart grows wise, by learning to love without losing itself, to let go without bitterness, to remember without pain. Each ending, when accepted with awareness, becomes a seed of greater peace. The soul, like the earth after rain, grows fertile again. What once hurt now prepares the ground for gentler beginnings. The body is the house of the soul. Every thought, every touch, every sorrow becomes part of its walls. To share this house is no small act. When you open your body to another, you invite him into your temple. What enters may bless or burden, for nothing leaves untouched what it has entered. This is why choice must be sacred. To guard your body is not pride nor coldness. It is wisdom born from knowing that energy lives on. Every man carries a world within him. When he enters you, that world steps inside, your own. His thoughts become whispers in your mind, his moods the color of your mornings. You may not see it, but your soul feels it, and your dreams reveal it. A man of peace leaves calm behind him. A man of unrest leaves confusion. You can tell the difference even before he touches you, for the body has its own sight. It shivers at falsehood and softens before truth. Trust that knowing. The soul speaks through quiet unease or sudden warmth. To ignore these signs is to turn from your own guardian. When you choose to join with awareness, the act becomes prayer. The two energies meet in reverence, not in hunger. They know that they are creating, not consuming. In such union, both are blessed. They walk away brighter, not dimmer, more whole, not hollow. That is love's true mark. It multiplies life rather than draining it. The sacred choice is not made by fear, but by seeing. You ask, does this man honor what is holy in me? Does he carry peace, or does he scatter it? Does he speak truth when silence would be easier? These questions are doors through which the soul peers into the heart of the other. Only when it sees goodness there should it open fully. Many mistake passion for proof. They think the fire of desire means safety, but fire can both warm and burn. Passion without respect is a spark in dry grass. It flares bright, then leaves ashes. Respect is the rain that keeps love alive. It is slow, quiet, steady. It waters the roots that pleasure alone cannot reach. If you have chosen without awareness before, forgive yourself. The past was a teacher, not a curse. Every misstep has brought you nearer to truth. You know now that not every closeness heals, not every touch is love. The wisdom of pain is the light it leaves behind once you understand it. That light will guide your next choice. To cleanse what lingers from the past, return to yourself. Sit in stillness. Breathe as if washing your inner rooms with air. Feel the old energies lift like dust in sunlight. Say softly, what is not mine may leave now. What is mine may stay. Do this not once, but whenever your heart feels heavy. Awareness, repeated, becomes purification. In time, you will feel clear again. The dreams that once brought faces from before will fade. Your inner house will stand empty but peaceful, ready for true company. This emptiness is not loneliness. It is space for truth to enter. From it, new love may grow, one that honors both souls as sacred ground. Choose such love patiently. A man who is whole will never rush your spirit. He will wait until you open of your own will. His desire will be steady, not wild. His words will carry care, not pressure. You will feel safe in his nearness, for safety is the sign of genuine connection. What is real never demands what readiness denies. The sacred choice also means knowing when to walk away. If your heart whispers no, listen. If peace leaves the room when he arrives, that is answer enough. To say no is not cruelty, it is self-respect. It is saying to life, I will not plant my seeds in barren ground. This is how the soul keeps its dignity while waiting for true union. In your still moments, remember that love is not something you find, it is something you build. You build it by choosing truth over haste, depth over display, peace over thrill. When two who have faced their own shadows come together, love becomes clear as water. It reflects heaven because it has accepted the earth. The soul rejoices when the body is treated as sacred. It feels at home again. The heart beats quietly, not with excitement but with harmony. This calm joy is worth more than 100 restless passions. It is the sweetness of being met soul to soul, without masks, without taking, without fear. If you ever forget, place your hand over your heart. Feel its rhythm. It has carried you through every sorrow, every mistake, every love. It asks only to be treated kindly. Promise it this, that you will choose not from emptiness, but from wholeness. That you will join with another only when your soul feels seen, not when your loneliness shouts. Then even if love ends, it will not wound. It will leave you with gratitude, not loss. You will part as two travelers who met at dawn, shared warmth, and walked on renewed. The energy between you will return to light, not linger as shadow. This is the fruit of sacred choice connection without captivity. So before you let a man touch you, pause once more. Feel the quiet around you. Ask, does this meeting honor who I am? If the answer is yes, your soul will open like a flower to morning sun. If the answer is no, step back gently. The right garden will come in time. To choose with reverence is to protect your spirit from forgetfulness. The body forgets faces, but the soul remembers energy. Guard what enters your inner world as you would guard a flame in wind. Feed it with truth, shield it with care, share it only with those who bring peace. For when you keep your light pure, those who see it will not take, they will bow. And in that bow, love will begin not as desire, but as recognition. Two souls meeting not to fill their emptiness, but to honor each other's fullness. That is the sacred union life waits for, the one that adds calm to the storm and makes the storm itself a song.